evening, we're told a riot at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall in Downey.
Yeah, KCAL News reporter Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal now with a look. Desmond.
Well, Jeff and Susie, here we are overhead the facility here, and look at the massive response here as I zoom in here. They have this place completely surrounded and on lockdown. Looks like a huge response here by Downey PD, perhaps by LA County Sheriff's deputies as well. We understand that there were injuries in this riot, but it's unclear the extent of those injuries or if anyone had to go to the hospital. But look at all the units that are out here on the golf course here that's on the northern side of this facility here. So just looking around, trying to see if we see anyone outside right now. I just saw a couple of police officers walking around with some flashlights in this area. So hopefully everything is under control, but this is probably going to be a pretty big deal here for a while at this facility now on lockdown. Live in SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw, Jeff and Susie, back to you in the studio.
Friday evening, we're told a riot at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall in Downey.
Yeah, KCAL News reporter Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal now with a look. Desmond.
Well, Jeff and Susie, here we are overhead the facility here, and look at the massive response here as I zoom in here. They have this place completely surrounded and on lockdown. Looks like a huge response here by Downey PD, perhaps by LA County Sheriff's deputies as well. We understand that there were injuries in this riot, but it's unclear the extent of those injuries or if anyone had to go to the hospital. But look at all the units that are out here on the golf course here that's on the northern side of this facility here. So just looking around, trying to see if we see anyone outside right now. I just saw a couple of police officers walking around with some flashlights in this area. So hopefully everything is under control, but this is probably going to be a pretty big deal here for a while at this facility now on lockdown. Live in SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw, Jeff and Susie, back to you in the studio.
A riot that saw one teenager escape briefly. The signs went up for parents today. They say visiting has been canceled. Parents are now complaining that they're unable to see their kids. The stepped-up security comes after last night's disturbance at the juvenile hall in Downey. Officials say several youth assaulted staff, broke open a door and a window, then made it out all the way to the facility's grounds. That's where one youth scaled a wall and escaped to a nearby golf course. Police quickly captured him. Los Padrinos reopened this month to house youth from two other facilities that the state had deemed unsafe. Tonight, officials say all of the youth are back inside.
The county's Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall has just been lifted more than 24 hours after a riot that saw an escape and assault on staff members. Hello, and thank you for joining us. We're live on ABC7, ABC7.com, and streaming wherever you are on the ABC7 Los Angeles app. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Michelle Fisher. This is a special edition of Eyewitness News at 10. Tonight, things have stabilized amid beefed up security at the facility, which houses hundreds of kids. Visiting hours are even expected to resume tomorrow.
Now, this facility reopened just a few weeks ago. Los Padrinos was not supposed to be open right now, but it became necessary after two other county juvenile facilities were deemed uninhabitable. Eyewitness News reporter Elena Gomez is live tonight in Downey with the latest. Elena?
Good evening. Well, just in the last half hour, we learned that lockdown here was lifted at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall, and all of that started, those extra security measures, they all started last night when 7 juveniles assaulted staff here and one juvenile even attempted to escape. Now, here's what this all means with that lockdown being lifted here just within the last 30 minutes. It means that Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall is operating on a limited program basis, allowing for what the department says will be limited movement of the juveniles for meals, schooling, and recreation. This lockdown situation, this all started around 8 o'clock last night when 7 juvenile inmates started assaulting staff at the facility and opened up an external door to their living area. They also broke a window of another unit, and that brought in 6 other inmates into that same area. An 18-year-old juvenile inmate climbed a wall and escaped onto a golf course next door where he was caught and now has been booked as an adult. The other inmates are now in individual rooms on one-on-one supervision, and a department bureau chief was present at every shift to supervise the facility as that extra precaution when that lockdown started. Now, juveniles actually moved here into the Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall earlier this month following the shutdown of juvenile halls in Sylmar and Boyle Heights after those sites were deemed unsuitable for housing. Now, earlier today, we talked to a mother who wanted to conceal her identity. She has a son here, and she came to visit him. There was a sign outside that there was no visitors allowed, but she was eventually able to connect with her kids. But along with this situation last night, she said she was worried about the facility's conditions, which she said had no AC, and said there was no outdoor activities for the kids. Meanwhile, we also talked to the LA County Probation Department. They says there is AC and an issue with the system was fixed a week ago. They also shared how they're working to connect kids with their families.
I'm going crazy. I want him out of here. I know he did something wrong and he has to pay, but not in this condition. They're humans, they're not animals.
Our goal is to ensure that the families see our youth, right? We want them to feel okay. We want our kids, we recognize our kids need to see their families. And that's our goal, to make sure to try to get visiting back on track by tomorrow.
Now we're also learning that there was no injuries to any of the staff or the juveniles here.
Tonight with breaking news and an explosion of violence at the Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall in Downey. This video just in from Air 7 HD as dozens of officers from Downey PD and Lakewood Sheriff Station surround the sprawling correctional facility that houses juvenile offenders. The riot immediately triggering a lockdown at the facility. We did not see any ambulances transporting anyone, and there have been no releases or any reports about any injuries caused by that violence tonight. If we get any new details, we will bring them to you.
There led to a large response and one person who managed to escape. We want to thank you for being with us this evening. I'm Jonathan Gonzalez.
And I'm Kathy Viera. We have been staying on top of the story since the chaos broke out last night.
NBC4's Macy Jenkins joins us live now from Downey with new updates tonight. Macy.
Hi, Kathy and Jonathan. Well, all 273 juvenile inmates are accounted for. No one was seriously injured. Visitation, though, was suspended for today. However, any parent that made the drive to come see one of their children was allowed a brief phone call with that juvenile inmate. Now, let's get to the details of what happened. LA County Sheriff's Lakewood Station got the call at 8:13 last night to assist with a riot that broke out here at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall involving 13 juvenile inmates. A spokesperson with LA County Probation says some of those inmates assaulted staff, and in the process, an 18-year-old inmate briefly got outside of the facility. He was then immediately caught by special ops probation officers. The remaining 12 inmates were placed in separate rooms with one-on-one supervision. The facility went into lockdown mode as LA Sheriff's deputies, along with Downey Police, Downey Fire, and Southgate police officers secured the building. Inmates and staff involved in the altercation were evaluated by medics, but no one was seriously injured. Bureau Chief Dalila Alcantara explains changes to supervision protocol effective immediately.
We are now taking rotations to make sure that each shift we're going to have a bureau chief on site providing assistance, whether it is monitoring the unit, talking to the staff, talking to parents, checking in people, walking the facilities, talking to our partner agencies on site to make sure that everything's taking place in a proper manner.
Alcantara says prior to the incident, a supervising director was always on site, but the department bureau chief was not, instead making stops at the facility throughout the day. Now, moving forward, interim probation chief Guillermo Viera Rosa has ordered a bureau chief to supervise operations during every shift. Now, in a statement, Sean Garcia Lays with the LA County Probation Oversight Commission says this was an inevitable result of confining too many youth compared to the number of staff the department has available. We need to confine fewer youth so the staff we have can do their jobs well. County Supervisor Janice Hahn released her own statement saying, in part, I expect our interim chief probation officer to get to the bottom of what went wrong and make assurances to the Board of Supervisors and the City of Downey that this is not going to happen again. Now, Los Padrinos is a facility for young people who've been charged with a crime and are awaiting their court date. It was closed for 4 years until it reopened earlier this month. There were several renovations made, including to plumbing, lighting, and the addition of certain cameras. Now, 9 of the 19 units are in operation. Reporting live here in Downey, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
Breaking news, Skyfox up and over the scene. That shows police and sheriff's response down below. This is in the city of Downey at the Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall, where the sheriff's department is confirming with us that they were called to assist what was described as a riot within the juvenile hall, and you can see plenty of flashing lights down below. This is on Quill Drive in the city of Downey. Christine.
Yeah, the sheriff's department called there to assist Downey PD, and Downey PD had requested an ambulance, so we're not sure exactly what happened there or what the medical needs were, but they are staged there for medical necessities. It's late at night there, so we're trying to get more information at this late hour. If we get it, we will bring it to you.
New information on a riot that took place at Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall in Downey. The LA County Probation Department says youth assaulted staff and one escaped but has been caught. This was breaking news last night. We had News Chopper 4 overhead as officers rushed into the facility. They also searched the golf course and nearby neighborhoods that surround the juvenile hall. The county says there were no serious injuries. This facility just reopened this month. It had been closed in 2019. There are about 300 youths there.